we are live here with another Real News Quarantine broadcasting from our homes. And we are going to be playing another game of Minecraft here. Hopefully find the Penn State campus, but let's not get our hopes up. We already got lost last night, but maybe I'll be able to find it this time. Alright, whoops. I don't want to play that mode. I want to go back into multiplayer. News-wise, I don't know if there's anything interesting happening today. Just preparing for the worst, honestly.
I mean, yeah, there really isn't much legitimately from a news perspective, but yeah, there's nothing really. I would say because it was Sunday, WrestleMania was going on today, so I guess that's like this weekend. I mean, it's odd because of the coronavirus, they couldn't have the regular WrestleMania. Like normally WrestleMania is like considered the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. Like you have, it's on a Sunday. It's at a football field, outdoor football field, and it's packed to the brim. You're talking like 80,000 plus people, and like, and it's one of the most watched events of the year, right?
Right, yeah.
Like totally. But because of the coronavirus, obviously that had to change. So what they did was they made it, I guess they filmed it at the WWE performance. They have like a performance center, which is in Orlando. I think it's in Orlando, Florida, or something like that. But anyway, they got the so they did that, and they made it into like a 2-day event. So it was like you had part one and then part two on Saturday, and then you have part two on Sunday. And so yeah, there was that, and of course, I mean, the matches were still going on. There was just no fans in the arena. So it just looks weird. It looks really weird because if you ever watch a pro wrestling event, it's like, there's fans all over the place. They're cheering, booing, whatever. And it's like there's nothing. There's like nobody.
Was it just
Except for
dead
the announcer.
silent?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was just it was just there's like a ring, a little a spot where where they have the big screen video for their little entrance videos or whatever, and that was pretty much it. There was no fans. It was just like the hosts and like the host of the event, and then the announcers. So like like it was, I mean, it was cool that they did it, that they changed it up so at least people had something to watch. But you could, like, it felt weird. It just felt weird watching the event.
It didn't feel the same at all.
It did not feel the same at all. And it's like you could tell that, I mean, the whole thing is kind of like, I mean, the WWE's been affected too, because this is like one of those things, and they make a lot of money selling those WrestleMania tickets. I mean, that is a big thing. I remember looking last year. I was looking at tickets for this event, and like the very front set.
What was that you cut out?
Yeah, they're feeling it. They're definitely feeling it.
What was that? I didn't hear any of that. You cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. So anyway, I think last year I was looking up WrestleMania tickets, like um to go to WrestleMania, and so I was looking it up on, and they gave me the promo code because I have the WWE Network. I think they had like something that I could buy, like you get advanced ticket sales, but I was like, well, whatever, I'll look them up. How much could they be? They had like for the ringside seats, like the ringside sections,
Uh-huh.
they were like starting at, I think they were starting at like 2 grand.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, no joke. So like, so now you have, you know, I mean, you have a lot of tickets because this is like you're talking about 80 plus thousand people filling up this football stadium, and like, and there was none of that this time around. So they were feeling it financially. They were definitely feeling it, but um, guess the show must go on.
Was it a good show anyway, or was it
I
just...
mean, it's not as it's not. I mean, like pro wrestling really isn't what it used to be. Like there's not like from my perspective, and I've been watching it like pretty much my whole life. Well, I mean, I usually don't. Um, I used to not miss a WWE like a Raw or a SmackDown, but now I'll like watch it occasionally. Like I'll watch the Royal Rumble or I'll watch WrestleMania. Um, and those are like the two things that I will watch, and then I'm not really watching anything else unless I'm bored. Like unless I'm bored, then
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But yeah, that's so. But it was interesting because to like it's such a big event, and it was like, and of course, and they usually try to have like a celebrity hosting WrestleMania. So like you know, it was Rob Gronkowski, the
Oh, that's
former
why he was
Patriot.
trending on Twitter.
Yeah, the former Patriots tight end. Yeah, he was hosting it. Yeah, I mean, look, WWE always trends on Twitter. Like
Yeah.
it always trends on Twitter. Like you ever like on Monday, Raw will trend on Twitter. On Friday, SmackDown will trend on Twitter. I think on Wednesday, NXT trends. I mean, it's yeah, a whole lot of people watch it all over the world. Um, yeah, they even have like announce team. Like they have announce teams. I think they have like Indian, Russian, German, Spanish, Japanese. I want to say Chinese too, but yeah, they have a lot of like anytime a pay per view happens, it's like yeah, they have all of them, and yeah, there's a lot of people that watch professional wrestling.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's an obvious fact now, but everything has just changed because of this. I mean, it sounds
Mm-hmm.
like such a simple statement, everything's changed, man. But when you
Yep.
really, really observe every little part of your life right now, there is not a piece of it, honestly, that was the same before coronavirus. Everything is
Yeah.
just different now. And I wonder how, once this is all done, all the stuff that has changed, how is it going to change again?
Mm-hmm.
What's the world isn't going to be the same after this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
crazy to think about.
I mean, like Boris Johnson, I guess he has coronavirus. I think
Well,
he's tested positive.
yeah, there's actually a bit of news.
Yeah.
See how
Um.
awful it is that this virus, when it infects somebody, no matter how famous or whatever, it just feels like another case, and you almost forget about it. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And
Yeah.
somebody from the recent Star Wars movies died from it the other day. Somebody died
Was it?
recently today. I forget
A couple days ago, somebody from Fountains of Wayne died.
Hmm. Might have been that. So I was thinking Bill
One
Withers
of the
died.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I get annoyed because I was browsing through Twitter and I was like, and I kept seeing I kept seeing some of these articles that were like, well, or some of these people complaining about, well, how comes these you know these celebrities or these high profile individuals, how comes you know they get tests when there's so many sick people that are trying to get a test or whatever. And it's like, well, I look at that and I think, wow, these people are stupid because you got I mean you have to look at it from a a broader scope. These are people, like the higher profile people, they come in contact with way more people than you and I. Like you and I, we can sit at our homes, we can we can pretty much avoid contact with the outside if we wanted to. And like and that's whatever. But I mean, some of these high profile people, like you take Boris Johnson, right? How many people interact with him on a daily basis because he's the prime minister of England. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, from politics to media to, you know, world leaders to, international stuff to, like a whole bunch of stuff, like constituents, just all kinds of like you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of people at least a day. And like, and you have to be nervous about that because if he tests positive, he could get all these other people sick just by being around them. And the thing spread, the coronavirus, it spreads so quick. And you know so that's one of those things you need to do. That's not just
It's a
because of him.
responsibility.
It's not just for, but yeah, but I'm saying it's not like testing him is not as much for him as much as it is for the greater public.
Yeah.
Like,
And these are the same people that'll complain, like, if, let's say, Boris didn't get tested and he got a bunch of other people
right.
infected, they'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, look at that. He's so irresponsible. He didn't do. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. So, I mean, the media is what it is. They're not changing.
Yeah.
Like
Dude, did you see CNN at these, like, press briefings? They've been getting even worse.
yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, does it surprise you anymore? I mean,
No, it doesn't.
at this point, it's a limbo. Okay, how low can these people go?
Whoa, shit. I fell down a hole.
Yeah, they don't care. They're just after like, and I mean, it's they're not going to report on anything other than anti-Trump agenda because they are pro-China. That's the thing. It's like people are like, well, why are these people not being journalists? It's like, well, they are. They're just not reporting on the same agenda. Like these are pro-China corporations, so they have pro-China interests and they have pro-China investments, and they don't want to jeopardize their investments. And obviously, the Chinese government doesn't really is not too big of a fan of Trump. Right now, there's a lot going on. There's trade wars. You know, there's a lot going on. And I mean naturally, you know, you want division. Like if you're in another if you're a government of another country, you want division in the superpower, because then that slows down what we can do, and then you know and they can
Mm-hmm.
keep gaining. That's you know
That's one of the funny things is I know in 1984 there was a saying, "Unity is strength." I
Mhm.
mean, it kind of is. I hate to say
Well,
it, but it can be a strength because if you're unified on something, you can accomplish shit. You can get
if
shit done.
yeah, I mean, if we were united, there's no stopping what we can do. Um we really like when we're united, there we are the most unbeatable force on the face of the earth.
Exactly.
However, we haven't been united in a while. It's been quite a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And and you would think it and if we can't get united on a national pandemic, we're probably never going to be united. I think
Yeah.
that's the harsh reality that I've learned in all of this.
Exact same for me, dude. I mean, I cannot emphasize enough. I noticed that immediately when I saw. This is what I think I even said that on this show. I was like, what's separating the men from the boys here? What's separating the women from the girls and the adults from the children is people that are willing to put things aside to get shit done, and they're
Hmm.
working hard to get stuff done, and the people that are playing politics. I mean, Gavin Newsom might be the best example of somebody that I didn't expect to put it all aside and do a stellar job. I mean,
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom, I think when I see him up there now talking about the coronavirus and what he's doing in California, he's a different person. This
Hmm.
is not the Gavin Newsom I've known.
Well, I
The
mean, you have to. I mean, you really like when you're in a. I think he's been in politics pretty much his whole life, and I mean, and you can kind of see like the people that have been around, like the people that have been around
mm-hmm,
stuff. They've you could tell how good or bad they are when something
like this happens.
like this happens.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I mean, he don't get me wrong. There's a lot of issues that this man has, but there's been some good things. I mean, look, hey, I can you 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 got to give credit where credit's due sometimes,
Exactly.
and
I will never be
and he's
that
trying,
guy that'll knock somebody for doing a good job, even if they're on a different side. That's just not
that's
fair. I mean, if somebody's doing the right thing, they're doing the right thing. Period.
I keep thinking of um Chris Christie when Hurricane Sandy hit, uh when it hit New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
He was working with Obama,
Yeah, the
right?
the
And
infamous Obama hug.
people, yeah, people were, people in his own, you know, in his own base were pissed, but he was like, "Look, hey, I got to do what I have to do to take care of take care of the people in my state." And that's exactly what you have to do. Look, you have to nobody can get things done on their own. Like as much as there's life lessons to be learned here too. Like
Yeah.
nobody it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're in politics, whether you're in business, whether you're anything. Look, we can't we can't do really anything on our own. Like we're somebody helped us along the way. Someone, some organization, something that helped us along the way,
Mhm.
like to get wherever we were going to go, right? Um, and that's what I feel like people need to understand. Like
Mhm.
they need to understand. I think that's the ultimate maturity. Like I hate when people say, "Oh, I'm doing this all on my I did this all on my own. I'm a self-made blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I'm like nobody's self-made anything. There's no such thing as a self-made anything. Um and I mean there's you know I mean I know I have to work. I mean I know I give a lot of people shit for, having a silver spoon when I wasn't lucky. There was some things that I was not lucky enough to have growing up and even now, but like I'm also still grateful to the people that did, you know, like I'm grateful for the GI Bill. I'm grateful to the military. I'm grateful to, there's a lot of things that helped me become who I am,
Mhm.
and that's how I have to look at it, and I think that's part of maturity, and people have to understand. Like I don't. We're missing a lot of that right now.
Yeah.
We're missing a lot of maturity right now, and um, and like I don't know. I don't know how we like going back to the to how we're going to be after this, coronavirus. Once the dust settles, I, I don't know how we're going to be. Like I'm genuinely not very confident right now as far as like relationship wise. Like are we ever going to be able to like get along as a society ever again? Because look, we are in the middle of a national pandemic and we are bickering over bullshit politics.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if you can come back from that. I don't know if that's something you come back from. Like,
I have the same feeling, and I think some people are too far gone,
yeah.
but I think
I mean,
I,
don't get me wrong. There's positives and negatives. Okay, so the
yeah.
positives are you figure out that's just like a tragedy with anybody. Like how like you live your life and you meet you befriend a ton of people, but like when shit hits the fan,
Mhm.
you find out who your true friends are.
Yep.
You
Yep.
find out who's true to you, and you
Who's got your
and
back?
un, and unfortunately you find out who's not, who doesn't have your back, who doesn't have your interests at heart. And we're finding that out on a much more macro scale.
Funny on in a global scale,
Yeah.
it's staggering, and
Yeah.
I think some people are going to be changed by this dramatically. I think some
Absolutely.
people aren't going to be the same. I think
Hmm.
this is what my dad was saying, and it kind of took me aback when he said it, made me think about going back to Gavin Newsom. Do you think this pandemic has changed Gavin Newsom? Like, is he going to be a different person coming out of this?
Maybe. I mean, going through tough times like this, it does. It does change you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
Because my dad thinks he's changed. I'm like, it's possible. And I see other people out there, um, my generation and the boomers and all these other people and how they're reacting to it. And I think I think my generation may change a good amount because this is our first quote unquote war. And it's a war unlike any other
yeah,
war. It's a war no one else has seen before. And when you're in a wartime, your country changes, everybody goes through a hardship, and hopefully comes out stronger. Now, I don't know if my generation is going to come out stronger. I hope they do. But I think the innovation we're going to get out of it is going to be amazing because wars, for better or worse, bring about unbelievable innovation. Radar was invented in World
yeah.
War II. I mean,
Hmm.
it's one of those things where you're more motivated and you're on a time crunch. You gotta act. You gotta do
Yep.
quick action, and that
Yep.
forces innovation. So I think in the
Yeah.
medical industry is going to change just dramatically. Because one of the
Yeah.
things Scott Adams always talked about, I even made an app for this called Wenho, of having experts sort of give
Yeah.
house calls basically. So if you need an expert in, let's say, investing, they can match up with when you talk to them for 30 minutes, you pay a fee, and boom, you have investing advice. But one of the things he was hoping to do is get doctors to do it. So doctors would now be making house calls um, in a modern way, in an innovating way. And I think we're going to see that now with this. I mean, my dad just FaceTimed his doctor yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't we do this all the time? It's like if you have something minor that the doctor just needs to literally look at, just fucking FaceTime. And I think that's what we're going to see from this. And this will help bring healthcare costs down, hopefully. Big emphasis on the hopefully, is using technology. We, I mean, we've noticed that with Zoom. There's so many things we can just Zoom. You don't have to fly to
Yeah.
China to do a business meeting, just fucking Zoom. And I mean, that's actually something I want to talk about too. Is there's more problems coming out with Zoom. Apparently, the quote unquote encryption of it is not that encrypted. Zoom, like for people that don't understand encryption, you basically uh, you're getting keys, digital keys to unlock access to whoever you're talking to. So if I'm zooming Phil, I get an encryption key to open up his encrypted connection, let's say,
Yeah.
to talk to him. What the fuck? I just died from holding a. Oh, I was stuck in the bush. Um, and so that's how I would, you know, get access to him. Apparently, with Zoom, there were a bunch of encryption keys coming from China. Even if you were doing, everybody was in North America talking, the key would come from China, the encryption key. So people were wondering, why is that? That's a little suspicious.
Mhm.
So I think, I'm going to call it now, I think Zoom is Chinese spyware. There's something up with it. It doesn't feel right. The fact they have 700 developers in China making Zoom doesn't feel right at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It absolutely is Chinese spyware.
Mm-hmm. Deport Zoom and shit. I mean, maybe I encourage people to use Google Hangout. I know Google's not, they're not all about privacy either. I mean, they're no darlings of privacy, but at least it's American, and
Yeah.
they can, I think, hold 25 people on a call or something like that. Yes, I know Zoom can hold more, but if you can do it, if you only need 25, you have less than 25 people, just use Hangouts. Has all the same features, I believe, as Zoom, and it's not spying on you. So we need to move away from Chinese technology, especially with AI.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I think I was saying this before. Um, I think I think India is in a prime position
Yeah, India should be
with
jumping
all of
up and
this.
down.
All of this. Well, I mean, they most certainly are. Like, look, they're like hydrochloroquine. Like um, there are companies in India that are making that at like at big time paces, and so Prime Minister Modi is kind of obviously most of these countries they're basically kind of stockpiling what they have, like they're kind of like putting controls off of what comes in and out of the country because they have no idea you know what's in the products or whatever. And um and so of course you got Trump calling Modi to try to get some of that stuff over here. um and I mean, and you think, look, we like Trump has this great relationship with Modi, right?
Oh yeah, it's an amazing relationship.
Yeah. So you hope that like and that relationship can blossom into something better because like they can go toe to toe with China. Like there's a lot of tech for in the tech industry, in the medical industry. There's a lot that they can do to combat like to take on China, and you better believe it. Like you better believe. I mean that if this opportunity hits them, I don't think they're missing, and that's already you're already kind of seeing it. Um I I like I like this one YouTube channel that I'm that I kind of look at um for for news because I try to look at a couple of these people these news outlets and I'm like and it
Is this the Indian one?
yeah, the WION, that's the news. uh I think gravitas, I think that's what
That's a great name,
the that
Gravitas.
yeah, so yeah, I mean they're really they're posting a lot of the stuff that the mainstream media isn't, like very um they're exposing a lot of the Chinese stuff that's going on. And so yeah, they're one of my picks to, to watch, because I mean you have to, like in today's world, in today's environment, if you're trying to get what's accurately going on with current events, you're the mainstream media is going to let you down. They are. um so you're going to have to go, you're going to have to find other, you know you're going to have to find other news outlets to get what what the mainstream media should be doing. And this is definitely one of those ones. I'm definitely grateful that it exists. And and they do that. I like how they report. They're reporting on a lot of the coronavirus stuff. I mean, everybody's kind of
That's literally
doing
that's
the
what's crazy.
political, but
Yeah.
like they're really hitting it. Like they're really, you know, they're making it, and like they're really putting a very intelligent perspective on a lot of the stuff that's going on. And so yeah, that's just my, I don't know if this is a sales pitch or something like that.
You
Yeah,
plug
no,
them.
I mean, please, yeah, just go and yeah, just search for your own stuff, and hopefully YouTube doesn't, censor them like they've been doing everybody else. I heard YouTube censored our
Oh, Sam. Yeah, he was getting shadow banned by YouTube.
yeah, there was another one there was there was this one lesbian that like said she was leaving the left.
I
Hold
think I
on.
heard about that. Yeah, if you look at crap, this made me think of a multiple points, and I keep getting lost in them. But
Yeah.
actually,
Ariel Scarcella. That's the name.
okay.
Scarcella. Yeah. So she posted something a little while back. She does like LGBT um issues. Like she has a YouTube channel where she discusses certain LGBT issues. Uh, and she's pretty popular. She has like a little over 600,000 subscribers. Uh, and so here, hold on. So yeah, about a month ago, she said she's leaving the left because the left has gone completely off the rails, which is absolutely accurate. And and because of that, she's gotten like nasty. Like obviously the left has just gone completely unhinged.
It's like
Uh,
Scientology. You leave it or try to leave it, and they just come after you.
but I mean, look, but you look at like Milo, right? how much shit Milo got for, being not only being a conservative but being a Trump supporter, like,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't like, because there's the left just couldn't face the idea that a gay British
Jewish.
Jewish
Inter.
guy, married to a black guy, who that he could support Donald Trump, or he could be a conservative, like he could be like hold conservative values, uh and that's what and it drives them crazy. Well, I mean, they're already crazy, like going off the rails even further. um yeah. So yeah, and then the Ariel Scarcella, she's been making her rounds, with, you know Tim Pool, Steven Crowder, the usual suspects.
Well, I
uh
heard. I just saw the video tab. I don't know if it was just some stupid clickbait, but apparently people were trying to cancel Tim Pool. Did you hear anything about that?
I mean, they've been trying to cancel him for quite a while. He's been having to, like, even over the last couple of months, he's been having to um change much of what he's been trying to do.
Really? How so?
Just because, yeah, because, like, you can't say certain things, like you can't say certain words because they trigger
Mm-hmm.
the algorithm, or they
Yeah, of
trigger whatever.
course.
And right, um so yeah, he's been trying to do that. And of course, he's like a lot of these people now are try that are he's got one of those he's got a website where you're like donate, or at least watch the video or share the video or something, because you you know a, there's a good chunk of his videos that are getting demonetized. Um I so yeah, and you know what, there's Viva Fry.
Yeah, Viva Frey. Yeah, he's good.
That's another guy. He does very good work. He does very good videos. Um, he he's starting to get some nasty gram YouTube responses for some of his videos.
Well, I know like
And
he would, point out certain shit that more biased quote unquote lawyers wouldn't point out
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
videos where
Well,
he would analyze Alex Jones's
here's
that.
the thing. Okay. So I'll hit back on that a little bit. I don't think it's so much what you're saying as much as it is he's objective, and it just look it just looks like it looks like it
It
leans
leans right.
right
Well, yeah,
or is
that's why I am saying.
anti-left.
Well, yeah, that's why I
But
am
yeah,
saying. Because he was
but
in videos like the Covington case and
right.
the Alex Jones,
Yeah.
Sandy Hook stuff. He would point out things, and he would point out how other people were analyzing this shit and being
Hmm.
biased. And he would say, "No, these are the rules. These are the facts. You guys are just being biased," and they wouldn't like that.
Hmm.
But that's, I hate to say it this way, but the fact that they're attacking him is actually, I mean, it might hurt him in some ways, but it is helpful overall because it shows how biased some of these people are and how they can't handle the truth. They can't handle objectivity. And if you have that, that shows these are the crazy people. Whereas Viva is the straight truth. He's being as honest as he can be and being as objective as he can be. Whereas these other people are just blatantly biased.
Yeah. It's just it's not ending. I'm hoping that something changes. And I mean, for me, I look at I look at the Laura Loomer suit, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
Was it $1.5 billion?
Yeah. We'll see what happens, but like,
That's
um
great. It's still great.
I look at it, and I'm hoping that there's, that forces a change. And what's going on. Now,
For
so part of
context,
me,
she's suing Google, Twitter, and I think a few other big tech companies. I forget exactly what she's suing them for, but it has to do with the censorship that they've
hmm
uh,
yep,
done to her.
censorship, right? So the Supreme Court, and because of this lawsuit, okay, I can see the Supreme Court.
Taking it out.
Well, they're gonna have a, they're I feel like they're gonna have a uh clash on their hands because there's a couple of things,
Wouldn't that be
there was a ruling that happened not so long ago that was favor of business, businesses being
being
being allowed,
allowed? Yeah.
right, to be able to do what they want. However, there's another, so one of the so let's give perspective here. So in the lawsuit, right, the Laura Loomer lawsuit, one of the main um cases and precedents is Packingham v. North Carolina. And that was back in 2017. The Supreme Court took that on. Now this was before um, Neil Gorsuch came on.
My
Like
man.
he was just in, but I guess there wasn't, like, he just got in, so he wasn't really taking on the case yet. But in any case, um, so this was a case where a set a sex offender was um, being booted off of social media sites, and so like, I guess he sued, the sex offender sued or whatever, and so it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. So, um, and of course, there's a lot of ways to look at this, like, and it's an interesting conversation, like, what should sex offenders be allowed to go online,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But whatever your opinion. Okay, so the opinion of the court in that particular case, I know I'm spitting out a mouthful here. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of the sex offender. Um, and what was said was, they explained it. Uh, and I'm quoting a little bit of the opinion here. A fundamental principle of the First Amendment is that all persons have access to places where they can speak and listen, and then, after reflection, speak and listen once more.
Mm-hmm.
They continue by prohibiting sex offenders from using those websites. North Carolina, with one broad stroke, bars access to what many people are the principal sources for knowing current events, checking ads for employment, speaking and listening in modern public square, and otherwise exploring a vast realms of human thought and knowledge. And then they cited Ashcroft v. Free Speech Coalition is well established that, as a general rule, the government may suppress lawful speech as a means to suppress unlawful speech. So this is um this is the precedent that Laura Loomer used for the lawsuit.
That's killer. That's
So
fantastic.
yeah, but yeah, so they've been ruling. Supreme Court's been ruling lately in favor of, like, business. So they're going to have a little clash on there. I feel like they're going to have a little bit of a clash on there. And this is something I will break from, like, because I know some of these conservative justices are very, they lean more toward the business side of things. And yeah, this is something I break away from that with, because they're absolutely right. Like, this is a, you know, the internet really is, like, there's a lot of stuff that we do. The internet has developed into something that is like life. It really is. Like, you can't really do shit at all without it.
Well, do you realize how much of her life has been ruined because of her bans? Milo
Mm-hmm.
talks about how she's gone
Yeah.
kind of a little crazy at times because she can't
Yeah.
get lifts, she can't get Ubers, she
Yep.
can't use Twitter, she can't
Yep.
use Instagram, she can't
Yep.
use Facebook, she can't
Yep.
use so many services that build a career, build a life, connect with friends and family.
Yeah.
It's it's shattering.
So this is the one thing, and and I'm thinking maybe you and I agree with that going against the grain on, because I know that the conservatives like to favor business on this said subject, and I tend to break away from that, because this what we've built this society that is, like, it's big on the internet. Like, that it's how you do literally everything. Especially, look at what we're living with right now with this coronavirus mess. Look, you know or ordering a cab, getting food, getting,
Exactly.
your ordering stuff, taking classes.
And imagine if Laura Loomer was banned from, let's say, Grubhub, which she might even be for all I
And
know, and she wants to get, order out food for
yeah.
her safety, and she
Right.
can't do it. I mean, it's
Right.
absolutely insane. And the
Hmm.
difference, because people will bring up, oh, but what about a Christian baker? What if they
Yeah.
want to discriminate against homosexuals? Aren't you supposed to
Yeah.
be for that as a free conservative? And I say, well, there's a difference here because
Mhm.
uh, um, with a bakery, there's a lot of bakers out there. If somebody wants to discriminate against you, which I think is wrong,
Mhm.
and but there's still plenty of other bakeries you can go to. I tend to believe that it's okay then for a bakery to be allowed to not serve people they don't want to for religious purposes only. When it comes to tech platforms, which there are only a handful of,
Mhm.
and you can't make simple alternatives to do the same purpose, and there's basically an oligopoly. It's a totally different ball field here. That if you can't just go to another Twitter, unlike the bakery where you can go to another bakery if one doesn't like you can just go to another one and the free market can sort it out. I always say
Mhm.
if the free market can sort it out, leave it that
Mhm.
way. Don't let anybody else touch it or meddle with it. It'll just fuck it up. But if the
Mhm.
free market can't fix the problem for the consumer, then
Mhm.
there needs to be some intervention. That's very reasonable. It's very fair, and I there's not going to be any other way to live like this unless some alternatives can spring up, which they just can't.
Yeah.
It's not happening. I don't care how many times Gab says, "Oh, we're growing," or how many times Parlor says they're growing. These
Mhm.
companies just aren't going to compete with Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and
Yeah.
anything else.
Because I mean, the network effects have already taken their course.
Exactly.
As far as most of these sites, and I believe that they're a town square. They are. Like, there's a lot of stuff
That's what they
that goes
become.
on. Communicate, yeah,
Yeah.
with communication. There's a lot of
The con-
stuff goes on.
the online conversations now happen on Twitter.
Yep.
I
Well, I
mean,
mean, even with Twitter, Facebook, you know, all the like all these sites, and it's like you like and part of what was going on in the suit there was, by denying, like, she's like Laura Loomer's running for
yeah, she's run for
a
Congress.
political office in the state of Florida. Not giving her a Twitter account can be seen as election interference.
Mm-hmm.
It can be like,
Democrat meddling.
yeah, I mean that it can be looked at like that. So, I mean, I hope she wins this one because I
Dude,
mean, I
imagine
just
if she wins. Holy
yeah
shit.
yeah
She has a shot. She really
yeah.
does. I mean, I spoken to
But I
her.
think because it's in the DC Circuit Court, it's in the DC Circuit Court. So I feel like this is one of those things that's going to end up in the Supreme Court.
Dude, that could you imagine them on the
I
news
think
saying Laura Loomer versus so and so in the Supreme
yeah
Court? That would be,
yeah
oh my god. That'd just be
yeah
amazing. That'd be
yeah.
like
So
amazing.
yeah, and I feel like it's one of those, yeah, because it's one of those things that uh the kind of rulings that take place, yeah, I it's one of those things where you have some precedents that favors business, and then you have some precedents that favors um the consumer. And in this case, it's like when you have like these tech companies aren't your traditional business. Like they this is what I don't think there's a lot of people that just don't understand. It's like, well, they're business, they should be able to do whatever they want. It's like, well, they're not a traditional business. This is like it is a public town square, and you have government officials that communicate on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Exactly.
and they communicate with their constituents, and they communicate with other people on this on these sites. And so you have to look at it like a town square. You really do have to look at it like a town square, because there's so much that goes on. And so, like, you can't can you treat it like a business? And it's like,
Especially
yeah,
Twitter. I mean, Twitter has
yeah.
become just the official place to get a message out to the public.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
like people used to release press statements on their website or something.
Mhm.
Most people find out about that shit on Twitter now. Or people
Yep.
will even write tweets of like official things happening. The president does that. It's, I mean, it's just, if any, problem is the government's so slow to act on this shit that
Yeah.
I don't know if any of these people are going to be allowed
It's
back
tough.
on anytime
It's
soon.
tough because it's like I'm torn, because we're and we had talked about the net neutrality thing. And I mean, there's a lot there's the like, so the actual net neutrality law was like, they sold it like, so they sold it like they named the internet a utility, but there was more to it than that. And it wasn't like, that wasn't the complete package. Like when Obama created that net neutrality law or whatever. um and so there was a lot more to it than just that. Like, so I get why the Trump administration was like, no, let's nix this shit. um but it bothers me that a a net neutrality law wasn't created to replace it, like to to keep it as like a utility or whatever, because that's one of those things. You need something that, like, you really do need something that really protects the consumer, or really like protects, not protects the consumer, but just protects the right
It
for free
protects
speech. Like,
users.
it's
You know,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, the one of the other problems with tech or net neutrality is it has such a nice sounding name to it. Oh, net neutrality. My
yeah,
marketing brain already is suspicious. I'm like, well, that's the
yeah,
marketing lingo for it. I don't know what the
right,
fuck it really means. And the
right,
whole issue is simplified and boiled down to a bunch of things where it's so complicated. If I can't
Yeah.
understand it, somebody who's really into computers can't understand it.
Right.
The average Joe, hell, is not gonna understand it in
They
any
need to,
way.
and this is I I I can't stand how laws are passed in today's politics. Like I can't fucking stand it because there's so much. Like whenever they pass anything, any kind of bill, whatever, it's like there's always all this other shit that they try to package into a bill that has nothing to do with what the bill was aimed at. Look at the fucking stimulus package,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was
Look at
gonna
Nancy
say.
Pelosi trying to cram all of this bullshit, but that which everybody's a lot of us and our friends are like pissed off at Nancy Pelosi for doing this shit, but this is how laws are passed in our country. It's always like this. This is always how it's been, right? Which pisses me off. It doesn't like, I and a lot of people just accept it. No, that's just the way that DC works. It's like, well, should it be that way? And why aren't we fucking doing more to fix it? And and net neutrality, that was just another similar thing just like it. Like you're trying to pass shit that was going to make the most amount of people happy or whatever. And
Well, I don't even understand who was benefiting or like who the real beneficiaries of it were, but I will say, going back to Laura Loomer for Congress, like there's been a bunch of people that have
Mhm.
been running for these congressional seats, like Cenk Uygur. He got a staggering 4% of the vote,
Mhm.
or 6%, or whatever it was.
Great campaign. Yep.
Yeah, he was just
Fantastic.
just absolutely killing it. He, I look at all these people that talk about running for Congress, and I really think Laura Loomer is the only one that can pull it off anymore. I mean, I've seen her speeches, I've seen her talk recently, I've met her in person. She is a unbelievable uh, sort of force. I mean, she is not just a good public speaker or anything. There's just something about her where she can
Yeah.
say things really simply, really communicate it well, and she has the balls to do so many crazy things that nobody else would
Well, we
even
were
think
talking
about trying.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, I think. There's only a certain amount of people, like when it comes to journalists, there's only a certain amount of people that really have that it factor. Laura Loomer's another one that has that it factor, right? They have that ability to go after information, get it, you know, and it takes a great ability to communicate in a fast and effective way. There's only a certain amount of people that really just
Yeah, and talk about somebody who just really believes in what she preaches, and to such an extent that she'll risk her life, risk her, um, her I don't want to put it any other way, but criminal record. Like she literally risks getting arrested doing the shit she does. Not a lot of people will do that just for staying up what she believes in. She's amazing. Like she's definitely a valuable ally to have on your side. I mean, anybody that dismisses her at this point is idiotic. I mean, you'd be a fool to dismiss her and not want her to be with you in any fight. She's just so amazing. Did you
what's
cut out?
up?
Oh, I think you cut out again.
What was the last thing I said?
Oh, I was talking.
Mm.
Man,
Oh, okay. Well, let me.
we
So Laura Loomer. Okay.
yeah, we're talking about the loomer.
We were talking about Laura. There's only a certain amount of people. There's only a certain amount of journalists that have that it factor. We were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah, you
There's only
did
a
say
certain
this
amount of
part.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this part went
There's
through.
only a certain amount of people that have that it factor. right? That just have that ability to communicate well, and then do it quickly and effectively. Um, she's one. Laura Loomer's one of those journalists, right? And of course, I'm saying that like if she does, win her, you know, win the that congressional seat of hers, she like it'll be a bittersweet moment for me because obviously you I I want her to be able to be in the congressional seat and try to get some of the stuff done that she wants to get done, but there's a part of me that's like, well, I really like her journalism. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of want to, like, yeah, so there's definitely a little bit of a trade-off there. Um, what do you think?
Well, what I was gonna say is, she, because I was researching her camp. Fuck, I died. Urgh.
Yeah.
Damn it. God, I've been doing terrible today. Let's see if I can find that shit again. But I was researching her campaign a little bit yesterday, digging into it, seeing how good she's doing, and man, oh man, she is doing amazing. She has raised more money than any of her Republican opponents by far, and
Hmm.
more than her Democratic rival.
Yeah.
And this is a seat in Florida. It's in the 21st district in Florida. Everybody's got to check this out. It
Hmm.
used to be Republican for quite a while. Then a Democrat took it over, and she's been
Yeah.
run the show for years.
Yeah.
And Laura Loomer's trying to unseat her. I think this is the best time to do it. I think
Hmm.
she can do it. I think she's the perfect person to do it. She has got talent, charisma, and just fearlessness, just raw
Hmm.
grit and passion that
Yep.
you don't see from many people. And I just admire her on another level after seeing this sort of stuff. And if she gets in, oh my god, it will be the best shit ever. Seeing Laura Luma in fucking Congress just unleashing on these people. Um,
Yeah.
she would just be unbelievable. It would be she'd be the next sort of AOC, where we hear about the tweets, we hear about, oh, that's the other thing, she'd get back on Twitter because they'd have to give her a congressional
Yep.
uh, profile.
Yep. Absolutely.
We That'd be the funniest part of it all. But she'd be the next AOC, where we'd be hearing about tweets every day. She'd be running a news cycle. It would be amazing. But I think she'll definitely get into the general election down there. I don't think any of her Republicans are going to come close. Will she win the general? I think it's very possible. Would I bet on it? I might. I'd have to, after the dust settles a bit more as she gets into the general, I would come to a better conclusion. But man, oh man, I really want it to happen so badly. Cause
I think she will. I think she will. Like if she continues to raise the kind of money that she is, and
yeah.
she's out raising everybody.
Well, and
Like
also
she can do
look
a
at,
lot. She can do a lot with that because she doesn't like she really doesn't need much. So her money, the money she raises, will be used a hell of a lot more efficiently than like a traditional politician, because she has this ability to communicate and push her reach out. Like, this it's
well,
she's got the ability. Like,
yeah. You should also look at too the endorsements she's gotten.
hmm.
She's been endorsed by Judge Janine on Fox.
Hmm.
She's been endorsed by, oh fuck, crap. There's somebody. I think Roger Stone endorsed her.
Hmm.
She's definitely friends with him. Roseanne Barr and
Hmm.
somebody else really big. Crap. I need to look it up now. But man, I can keep dreaming on this one because it would just
Hmm.
be amazing to have somebody like
Yeah.
her in there. And speaking of also, as I try to find this endorsement,
Hmm.
I found it on her page, so I can check it out right now. Let's see, Congressman Paul Gosar, Michelle Malkin, that was the other big one.
Yeah.
Michelle Malkin endorsed her, and you have these people
Yeah.
campaigning for it. It's gonna be just fantastic. It'll be
Yeah.
like 2016 all over again. Juanita Broadwick, a Bill Clinton rape survivor. According, that's what she says on her website. For anybody throws, oh, it's just a legend, and it's just what it says here. So those are some big, powerful endorsements that could really go a long way. And Wayne Allen, that's another one, hosts Newsmax. Let's see the last one here. Bob Snerdley, producer for Rush Limbaugh. If she gets Rush's endorsement, oh my God. You get Rush's endorsement and you get Trump's endorsement, you're talking a win there. Like, that would just be unbelievable if she could get those. But to tangent off of that a little bit, Candace Owens floated the idea of running for Congress on Twitter. What are your thoughts?
It depends on where she's running.
I agree. I think she's gonna do in PA.
There's not enough. There's not enough information for me. I need more information, like where's she running, who's, like, what the demographics of wherever it is she's running at.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if she's trying to go downtown Philly where it's like heavily Democrat,
no how,
then it's like,
no way, no.
No fucking chance in hell. But like, but yeah, I mean, some areas, there's some areas there, she might have a chance, and I mean, and I don't, and I like Candace Owens, don't get me wrong, but like comparing her to like Laura Loomer, right? I don't know if I can honestly do that from like the ability to, like, she's really smart. She's
very
really
smart,
really well spoken. I like from, but there's something, I don't know. There's something about
Laura Loomer's got that extra zing.
Yeah, there's definitely like a journalistic kind of vibe with her, like, and she's very, she has a very intelligent, she knows quite a bit about politics and the law and stuff like that, and I think there's a little bit of a difference there. I'm not saying that Candace Owens can't do it. I'm just saying that there's, for her, it's more of a pick. Well, what's the battle? So but I mean, it'd certainly be interesting to watch, because,
oh my God, it'd be
like,
unbelievable.
see what she runs. Yeah, like, see what she runs on, like, see what some of the stuff that she runs on, and what kind of support she garners.
I think here, I'll say this about Candace Owens. I don't see her being just a political commentator. She's the type of person I see reaching for higher and higher things.
Right.
She's the type of person I could see in Congress. Will she win it this time around? I don't know. But I could definitely see her being a politician of some nature, or something higher than just this girl on YouTube, or just this Turning Point, spokesperson. She's been tweeted out by Kanye fucking West. I mean, I don't care what you think about her. That sort of recognition shows that she's on another level.
Yeah. No, she's incredible. She's been incredibly set. Like, she was successful with Turning Point, and she got the Blexic thing going on, and she she has a book out, that's done really well. I mean, the personal accomplishments are there, but you get into politics, and it's a different game. It's a different ball game. And
I would love to see her in Congress, though. I mean, that would just be fantastic. Like, remember those clips of her in those congressional hearings, and she would just lay out a flamethrower on them.
Oh yeah. And I mean, and we're seeing this with the CR elections, man. People don't fight fair. They don't fight. There's not, there's a whole lot of dirty going on.
Mm-hmm.
And even after, So,
Yeah.
she's got her work cut out. She's definitely got her work cut out for her if she does actually concrete decide to go for it.
And the edge, though, that she does have, I mean, Laura Loomer has some name recognition, but the main edge Candace Owens has is insane name recognition. She's a household name. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
Kanye West tweeted her out. So
yeah,
she has that supreme
yeah.
edge where I could see her pulling some.
It
If
get,
if she
like
ran the
name
right
recognition
district.
gets you off it. Like name recognition gets you a good start.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's a it gets you a good head start. Like
it's kind
without,
of half the game,
but
honestly.
you have to, but you still. Well, I
Still got to
mean,
put in the work.
I'd say it's a third of the game. I'd say
A
it's a
third,
third of
yeah.
the game. I'd say it's a third of the game. It gives you a good enough head start. But like if you have, you know,
The ground
but
game.
this is the but you obviously game the meat and potatoes. Like you need the like what are you running on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you can't just run. You can't run on, you know, conservative. You can't run on straight conservative talking points and expect to succeed. There needs to be some meat and potatoes there.
A little
Like
bit. I mean, one thing I've
yeah,
learned is policy's kind of overrated. It's
right.
really.
No, no, no. I'm not saying. I'm not saying not having some of your things aren't going to override on conservative talking points, but you have to have your own thing. Like look at again. Look at Donald Trump, right? There's some things that are conservative talking points, but he has his own way of. He has his own way, his own policy. He's got his own policy of doing things, right? We're not like the status quo is not cutting it, right? And he's just one of those guys that, he's just one of those guys that finds that that thinks out that thinks outside the box, that looks at multiple ways of handling a situation to get it done by any means necessary. Candace is going to need to have something along those lines, right?
Yeah, there is going to be a definitely a differentiator. You need to differentiate
You have
yourself
to
from the
be.
rest of the
You have to
field.
be.
But if she has a strong ground game, if she gets strong
Yeah.
endorsements, which she can get,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
could pull it off.
Oh, I'm not saying she can't pull it off, but I'm saying
Yeah, I know.
look how many people with name recognition come in and just flame the fuck out,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Shank.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah. Like if you don't have that backbone of your policies and you don't have your ground game, you're you're gonna flame out. Like you're so this my thing is it's like when you ask me what I think, I'm like, well, I need to know more. I need to know more
Mm-hmm.
about how serious is she, how you know what's she putting in for her ground game, what's she putting in for policies, like how much, like how's she getting the word out of whatever she's trying to do. um
But
because
it'd
we
be
know that,
really
yeah,
cool. What I'm starting to imagine right now is that instead of getting your typical lawyer that can't make it in the real world,
mm,
going through the revolving door of politics, or some
yeah,
lobbyist, go through the revolving door, you know, you actually get true, genuine grassroots candidates that people like, that are anti-establishment, that are part of this populism, nationalism, Trump wave,
yeah,
that are coming up. I mean, that's a beautiful thing that we have
yeah,
not seen our lifetime. Like, she's basically a social media star. She's an e-celebrity. Can
yeah,
you imagine
yeah.
her getting into Congress because of the internet? That's amazing. Same with
we haven't
Loomer.
Yeah, we have enough lawyers in Congress. We
Yeah.
have enough. We have way too many lawyers in Congress.
This could start
uh
funneling a lot of them out, as if you get more of these natural talents, these grassroots internet celebrities kind of becoming more of the tradition.
yeah, I mean, you I could agree with that. I just, it's got to be, I don't know, it's got to be a total game, but I definitely think like she does have the ability to have start. That she will have a head start, and it's going to be. It would depending on where she goes, it would definitely be her race to lose.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna check her Twitter and see if she said any more about it, but some people are rolling their eyes on the right, and I'm just saying I think they're wrong to counter out or to dismiss her like that. She's a smart and very. It's not just passion. It's sort of grit. It's a little bit more than that. She's got an edge to her that I don't see in a lot of people, and some people don't think she's genuine. I mean, she seemed like a pretty normal person when I met her for a few seconds, but who knows?
I really don't care if people roll their eyes at somebody. They did that
To Trump.
they did that to another guy that just so happens to be the leader of the free world.
Mm-hmm.
So they did that to the Boris Johnson. They did that to like a whole lot of people too that have ended up doing well. They did that to the mayor of the Toronto mayor, the Rob Ford, right? They rolled their eyes at him like, oh,
Oh, he was great.
yeah. So, I mean, no, you look, we have our problem. Our fucking problem is we have too many silver spoon motherfuckers in these office
Exactly.
seats. They don't understand. Like, you come up, when you come up from lower upbringing, one of the things you learn is to respect what your opponent is capable of, right?
Yeah.
You respect, even if you think you know confident and you think you can beat them, you think you can wipe the floor with them, you respect what they are capable of, because it like the second you don't, maybe the second that you end up on your back. Like, you gotta maintain, don't and learn from people,
Yeah.
the world is constantly changing, and this is this was another thing. This is another reason why I'm so glad that Trump won. He forced Republicans change their fucking act. He forced them, because the Republicans were getting stale. They were getting really fucking stale. And Trump, I mean, he, don't get me wrong, he fights for a lot of conservative issues. His own dog. He's his own man. And like, we needed, like, the conservative base needed to change.
Mm-hmm.
They looked at Trump and they're like, oh shit, the way that we were doing things for the last God knows how long, they didn't work as well as we thought they did. So we might want to change. I always got the feeling, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, but like, I always got the feeling over the last 20, 30 years, they've embraced religion more than actual constitution.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
For me, and I felt like now, like over the last couple of years, we've started to embrace the Constitution a lot more, right? Like, we've already, like, we have conservative values, but they're not, they're not so much based off of heavy religion. That they're more like, well, what's the law say? What's the Constitution say? What did the founding fathers intend in these particular amendments, right? So
Yeah, this sort of Christian conservatism of the 90s and other periods has really died out, and it's coming back in, I think, a better way in some ways, but
you can still have, yeah, and I'm not saying that we left it, like, you can still have your religion, and you can still, and it's a very important part of our it is one of the most essential parts of our culture. However,
It can't be so.
Can't be like it cannot supersede the Constitution. Like that's the backbone. That is the backbone of who we are.
Well, it's what unites people. I mean,
Yeah.
Christianity has united a lot of people in many ways, but the Constitution crosses religious boundaries and unites everyone.
Yeah.
And that's what's so fundamental about it. And I think, when we get too religious, also, it turns people off that maybe don't want those beliefs so shoved upon
Yeah.
you. Because you can take Christian ideas, Christian beliefs, and wrap them in a way that doesn't seem so religious. And, kind of persuades people or makes people act better, be better people without having that extreme religious connotation to it that can turn people off. Because that's the image a lot of young people have of conservatives is, oh, they're just these angry old white crazy Christians that want to take my video games. It's like, no, that's not most conservatives. Most conservatives today, especially ones our age, are fun, uh, trolly Trump supporters. And it's a different breed now, and we need to embrace that, move on from the past, and learn from it, and just make kind of Christianity cooler, if anything, because I think Christianity is a really great thing, but it needs to be packaged better.
Yeah. How's it going, Alex?
Oh
Oh,
man, doing
shit.
all right.
That's Alex. I didn't realize that. I heard some
Mhm.
noises. I was like, I wonder who that is.
Yeah, it was me.
How have you been?
Last, I just woke up and getting
Oh,
started with the work shit.
Hmm.
all right.
Good morning to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, good morning.
I didn't.
Yeah, no. So what have you guys been doing?
Just been doing the daily routine of get up, eat, do some schoolwork, take a walk, do some more schoolwork, watch the daily press conference, watch some shit on TV, and play Minecraft. Didn't find the campus yet. Uh,
Oh.
that's gonna take some time, but I'm just making shit in my own server now.
So here, okay. So here. Well, now that Alex, now that you're here, um, I looking at Twitter. One of the things that was trending earlier today was fire Fauci.
Oh
Why are
my
they trying to
god.
fire him? What'd he do?
Apparently you got a lot of media that are some of the stuff that he's saying. I'm not. I'd have to look up what some of what. Hold on. And he's getting a lot of. I think he's getting a lot of slack for some of the what they felt was a lack of, you know, appropriate answers or appropriate pushback or whatever. Let's see. Well, he there, and a lot of it is just I don't know.
Well, so what did you
For me,
specifically get wrong that they were like angry about?
um, yeah, because I mean he's there's a whole bunch of thing like when something like this comes along, and we've been hearing we've been hearing him a lot, in press conferences and stuff, and the part and it's like we're all trying to figure out, you know, how to best handle the situation, and like, and for like as far as, immunologists go, Fauci's probably the best mind the world has, and I just I don't I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that people are going to get frustrated. I think that's a little understandable, just because, well, one, people are stir crazy, they're getting frustrated, they're looking at somebody to blame, and the people that are on those podiums every day tend to be easy targets. It's not smart, but that's you know you got obviously you have a lot of people that are clashing out of emotion, but yeah, you have I don't know. I think I don't think that it's accurate. I don't think whatever they're like, because they were trying to. I think they were trying to push Fauci against. They were trying to pit Fauci against Trump, and it's like, no, they're trying to figure out what's going on, and yeah, maybe both of them are going in slightly different directions, but it's not like it's you know
What were they
it's not.
specifically saying that they had issues with on Twitter?
I'm trying to look up some of the stuff on here, because I see a whole bunch of political stuff. He's like,
Sometimes people will be going after him for like weird shit, and it's like, or something that was taken out of context. I was wondering if it was one of those things.
So you get a lot of so it's like so I'm seeing an article saying Dr. Fauci was an agent of deep state. See, I'm not buying any of this bullshit.
He's a Russian spy.
Like, he's pushing back, but I mean, look, the fact that
oh, I finally made some windows. Ooh. While Phil's looking that up, anything interesting on your end, Alex, that you've seen, done, or whatever?
He's left for a little bit.
Oh, fuck. Either I forgot that, or I was not listening. Ho, ho, ho.
We got... Yeah, Dr. Fauci said President Trump stopping flights from China was what saved most lives. Well, that's pretty accurate.
How dare he say that? What a racist.
I know, right?
Maybe we should fire Fauci, actually. You want to know why? Because racism is just rampant in America. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I need 2 more paint here.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think you're going to get some of these people that are just going to I think anybody who really comments on anything like that is just out of their fucking minds. So look, step back, let Dr. Fauci do his job, let Donald Trump do his job. They're doing it. They're doing the best they fucking can. It's like, look, China fucked us up for everybody. Look, it's going to take a little bit. It's just going to take a little bit to fix all this shit, and I think we're doing pretty good. Like, as a country, we are still pretty good. I think we are. Especially considering, how big of a country we are, how big of an economy we are. I think when you look at everything from a macro element, I think Donald Trump has done I think he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, I think he's handled it pretty well.
We could be Italy.
Yeah.
We could be Italy. We could be Spain. We could be...
We might become Italy, actually, even despite all the best efforts we've made.
I just don't... I don't think we will. I don't think it'll get bad.
Well,
I think number-wise, even if our numbers match, we're still better than Italy just because of how big we are. And I don't think it'll get... I really don't think... I just don't. I just don't. Especially given how much responding we've done. Like, there's been a lot of responding that we have done in terms of, from a medical standpoint, from a production standpoint. You have so many companies that are just, chipping in and making masks and PPE and ventilators. Like we're doing it. Like, we really are doing it. And I mean, look. I mean, it's like okay. So our death toll is at what 6,000 people, somewhere around there. 6,000.
I think so.
Um, I know it. I know it's a grim number, and not everybody would agree with me when I say this, but it's not a bad number.
It could be
Not a
worse.
bad number. Could be way worse. Could be way fucking worse. Um, well, we're doing good. We just gotta keep. We gotta keep doing. We gotta keep fighting it. You know. We gotta keep. You know. And I was listening. I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and I love Joe Rogan. I do. I think his podcast is fantastic. But he's like, look, I hope this is a wake up call. Like, I hope this is a wake up call for people. Look,
Mm-hmm.
make better decisions with your health. Like, look, seriously, do you have to eat that greasy cheeseburger? No. Like,
Don't smoke.
don't smoke. Don't like vaping. Vaping
Oh yeah.
is bad. It's bad. It
Mhm.
crystallizes shit in your lungs. You don't need that shit.
Support
Like, no.
vaping.
Look, I mean, you gotta make better decisions with your health, um, things will get better. You just gotta you gotta make better decisions. You gotta make better decisions.
Got put in the
I
effort.
can't like it just it anger it angers me that like some of these people are like it pissed me off that the fucking dumbass that was drinking fish tank cleaner or whatever decide like these people are trying to jump on the fuck Trump bandwagon
That was
because
so
somebody
stupid.
drank. It was like you got to be the biggest idiot walking God's green earth, like drinking fish. Fucking dumb. It's the same thing. Like, yeah, keep telling yourself that.
Yeah, that actually pissed me off too when they tried to blame Trump for that. Like, even some left-wing outlets were like, yeah, guys, this isn't Trump's fault. This dude was just a dumbass. And then they keep jumping on Trump for promoting the hydroxychloroquine. I'm like, they're like, oh, it's unproven.
Literally worked.
It has.
It's literally worked.
And what's wrong with him saying, hey, if you're on your last limb, maybe you should try this. If you're a step away from death, maybe you should try it. Just maybe. You wanna know why? Because it might save you, because it has saved people. I mean, what is...
Literally, and it pisses me off that some of these fucking governors are like what, banning it
they're
or
banning
holding it or
yeah.
whatever. You're literally marching people to their death.
That's
Like,
awful.
It's like you have this ability to try to save some lives, and you are making a concerted effort to ban something that has been study proven to help.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It's like, do you have to put these lives in jeopardy to try to garner political points? You're not even going to be that successful anyway. It's just like,
So
how fucking
stupid.
dumb are you? Yeah, it's fucking moronic.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. It's all it is, and it's like all this is Orange Man bad. He must be stopped at all costs.
Yep.
Common sense. Bless you. Bless you again. Damn. You all right?
Nope. I've
All right.
I now have a fever and I have pneumonia.
Oh shit. Stay away from everybody. No,
it's weird. Every time I go on a walk, I feel like I'm getting something new. I only had
Yeah.
like a few seconds.
well, I mean, it is okay. So let's keep things in perspective too. It's April, so
Allergy
allergies are
team.
coming. Yeah. So there's gonna be a lot of overlapping symptoms.
makes me nervous.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh no. But no, I don't have pneumonia, for anybody that's wondering. No,
Yeah.
I don't have a fever, just a little sneeze.
Yeah.
I am a germaphobe. I'll admit I'm not afraid to. I'm a fucking germaphobe, so I'm avoiding all this shit.
Yeah.
I do not want to get anything, or I'm just gonna be like, oh no, what am I gonna do? Because this is what I was gonna mention. This is the one thing that's scary that not enough people are talking about. And I saw from our good friend Jack Posobiec on Twitter, which he was in contact with somebody that was in the ER, was in some sort of medical area. And the thing that I think is scary about the coronavirus is that even if you recover from it, there is what looks to be possibly permanent lung damage to non-smokers who recover from this disease with perfect health conditions normally are getting lung damage. Is it going to be permanent? Will the lungs repair themselves? I don't know. But it's pretty scary that this, like, even if you recover from this thing, this is going to be your reality. I mean, that's what scares me about this. Like, even if I get it, like, will I have permanent lung damage from this? I mean, I don't want that at all. Obviously, nobody wants it, but it's just, that's one thing that worries me, is that even all these people, these hundreds of thousands of people that do recover, are they going to have permanent lung damage from this?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We honestly, we don't know enough about this to say one thing or the next.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if, hey, are lungs gonna heal? Are they not? Who the fuck knows, right? Like, we don't know enough about this situation to even begin. Like, and again, it's like the people that are going down are the older people lining conditions, and you get your 1D2s, the outliers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but for the most part, yeah, it's that said group. Who the fuck knows? Honestly, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I was nervous because, like, I got some I had some respiratory stuff when I went over to Afghanistan. I came back with some respiratory stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was part why I had to change careers.
Huh. What was the cause of that? I'm curious.
I don't know. Well, I'm not entirely sure, but we did. There was a gigantic poo pond that. Yeah, no, I'm not fucking lying. Their sanitation thing was like this giant poo pond, which was like a filter, to process all the waste that was going through the base, and we drove by that every day while I was over there. So I just never really felt, and it's dust, and it's dusty over there, and there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot that anything could have set it off. But yeah, my lungs never felt the same after that.
Wow, that's crazy.
But yeah, so I was a little I was a little nervous with all this, but I mean, it's you gotta just take it. You gotta make good decisions, and I think you'll be fine. I think there's a lot of,
Well, like, my township has only had 8 cases, and there's thousands of people here, but it's still, I mean, the good thing is there's a lot of paranoid people like me now. Usually I'd be the only paranoid one in, a lot of germ senses or germophobic senses, but there's a lot of paranoid people out there, and I think it's a great thing. Like, last time my mom went to the store, there was only one other person with a mask. I just went to my Wawa a few days ago, and there was a person with a mask. So I think when she goes to the store tomorrow, or today technically, there will be a lot more masks. And look, something people were getting all upset over was when the government first said don't wear a mask, it only prevents the disease from being spread. And I even repeated that. And when I would say it, I kind of stopped myself and think, that doesn't make a lot of sense, Sean. What are you saying that for? But I know why they were saying that. It's because they didn't want people to hoard masks for people that desperately needed them. Because as we're seeing, there's a mask shortage. So I hate to say it, but it's one of those cases where I'm kind of okay with my government lying to me. It's again, it's priorities. Yeah. Maybe a little, on the edge of ethics, maybe a little bit of gray area, but the priorities here are what matters most.
By the way, I'm incredibly I'm glad that we're doing this. I'm glad that we're doing this show because we don't there's been quite a few things that we've talked about that we're not falling in a particular set of lines. Like we have different viewpoints, and sometimes we break it off from some of the mainstream talking points and whatever, and it's like I'm always like like I always think of it like the world is complex, like and we're going through a really complex time right now. This whole thing has presented us with a way of life that we haven't really gone through or expected, and it's like I know. Okay, so they wrote an article that was saying that China was preventing American companies from sending masks to America, right? And I'm like, you know what? Okay, look.
Fucking A. So
I mean, okay, so in an initial opinion, you'd be like, fuckers, those fucking fuckers, the Chinese Communist Party, and they are fuckers.
But comes.
But at the same time, look, a lot of countries are doing that, right? Like we're doing it. They're doing like there's other countries that are doing it. We're kind of, rounding up the resources that we're having, and we're kind of putting limits on what goes in and what goes out, and that's part what you're trying to contain and take care of your shit. And in a way, I can't be totally pissed off that China made that decision. I mean, I'm pissed off that they made a lot of other decisions, but this is probably not one of them.
Well, to counter a little bit, I think the difference with other countries is that China has it under control, supposedly. Emphasis on that.
Stop. No. No, they don't. No, they don't.
If, for sake of argument, let's say they do, then it's kind of like, yeah, you guys caused this problem. You should be sharing up some of your resources for this. But yeah.
Well, it is technically our resource because they are American companies that have warehouses in China, or they have factories in China that are trying to send these supplies back to the United States, and I guess the government is not allowing or they're putting resistance on a lot of the supply. And so like obviously I would do that, but then again, I understand why they're doing it because a lot of the other countries are, but it's it's a motherfucker. I don't know what to tell you.
It's just another day in Trump's America.
Yeah.
Doesn't that annoy you when all these lefties always kind of frame Like when something bad happens, they'll go, "Oh, it's Trump's America. Here we are
Yeah,
again."
I mean, I'm like, so that article came from the Daily Wire. Like, look, obviously, it's been well said that I most certainly do not agree with Ben Shapiro on much. um, but I mean, and so like seeing this article, I do have to push back a little bit because I'm like, look, you understand, like if they're, but I will say, okay, but with that said, I will say that does give me pause when I see that a country who through the press is saying, oh, they've got a handle on this thing, and it's like, oh, really? You got a handle on this thing. Why are you stopping the flow of masks and PPE and all that stuff? Right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's so handled, why the why cut off the flow? You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's a legitimate question. That's a real legitimate question. But
Absolutely.
but yeah, I mean if they're still struggling, then I get it, right? But then again, that bodes the issue. Okay, what are they really? Which nobody believes them when they say, "Oh, they got it handled." Like, and nobody fucking believes that shit. But you know, I don't know. It's. See, look, this issue has just opened a whole lot of shit. Like, I get it. I get it. I just it's not. Um, let's see here. Okay, so one of the Dr. Fauci on hydroxychloroquine. I hope I said it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I think we got to be careful that we don't take that majestic leap to assume that this is a knockout drug. Uh,
Why is he
uh,
so cautious on it?
well, no, I mean he's got to. Um, yeah, conservatives are not liking this. Like,
Like, and I'm
and
not
of course,
saying I have a problem with what he's saying. I'm just like, what I don't get is why is he saying this? I understand if he's saying,
yeah,
you know, if you're on your if you're a foot away from death, yeah, try it. But I don't even know if he's really
yeah,
even saying that.
yeah. I don't. I think he's just I think there's just a natural. I think they're overselling it. I think they're overselling it. I think there's ev- every every doctor is going to be naturally cautious when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to, when it comes to issues in the medical field. You're just there's naturally going to be a cautious. Okay, let's let's take a breath. Let's analyze this. Make sure we got it. Let's make sure we get it right. Let's make sure all the whatever.
I tend to think
Um,
that, but I also am wondering if they're worried about, people getting disappointed or if they're worried about liabilities or something. Like, it's just, I feel like, again, I feel like there's something they're not telling us. And I'm not sure why.
mm, well, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot going on, right? I'm sure there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of stuff that they're talking about from multiple facets, from a health, from an economic, from whatever. You know, I think that's I can't imagine. I do not envy any of their jobs right
Oh,
now.
yeah, it's a tough job. And that's why I don't give them
Uh,
too much shit for anything.
no,
And I think the people that are being very just immature in a way, I guess you could
yeah,
say. It's kind of like, come on, if you were in this position, having to make these hard decisions, you would understand. Like, it's just like, for Christ's sake, just, be understanding and be fair. I mean, we're all in this, so cliche and like terribly sappy for me to say, but we are all in this together. And when you're trying to like pit each other against each other and, have gotcha moments, it's just fucking why? What is it? How is this helpful to anything that's going on right now?
Oh, all right.
Where'd Alex go? Is he dead?
No, he had to take a call for
Oh.
the jobby job.
It must have been a heck of a jobby job.
Yeah,
What if he fell in? What would we do? What would we do if we lost our co-host?
Well, look, I think we're doing a good
We're
job.
doing fine. We don't need him.
No, I mean,
maybe we should
he's
just.
great. He's a third leg on the tripod, but I think
he's gonna come back and just not hear any of this. We could say all his dirty secrets. I love him to death, though. I love you both to death, no homo.
Yeah.
Unless you want it to be that way. You could always make it that way. Quarantine life doesn't have to be so lonely.
Look, I mean, with the Dr. Fauci thing, look, we can bitch and whine about some of the stuff that he says all we want, but there's no doubt he's one of the best immunologist minds in the world. So we got him. Okay, we got that in a leadership position. It could be a whole lot worse, right? It could be way worse.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a breath. Let's relax a little bit.
And I hate how they keep thinking like they want to make this narrative that Trump is against Fauci or Fauci's against Trump. They're like butting heads all the time. I don't see it at all. And they keep propping that shit up. I'm like,
And they're like, and you get some pushback. You get some conservative pushback. Is like, why is he on ABC, NBC, MSNBC,
yeah, it's just stupid.
CNN? But I'm like, look, he's on Fox too.
Yeah, he's on all
everywhere.
of them. He's speaking to everyone.
He's literally everywhere. He's trying to get information out. Like, look, the Surgeon General. Why is he on all this? Like, look, he's on everywhere. You're trying to get whatever message you can. You're trying to get it out, right?
Yeah, to as many people as possible.
Yeah. And at least the mainstream media is doing that much. They're not doing shit else, but yeah. No, but I just like this is how you have to do your job. Like this, you can't. I just get so fucking nuts. I will say, let's see, hold on. I will say though that I don't. I'm trying. I'm looking for something. And
looking for something. Ooh, I made a boat. Yo, let's put the boat out. Dude, my house just got a fucking upgrade. I got some glass. I got some extra tables. I got some granite. Shit's hot. Okay, let's put the boat right here. Alright. Yo, we got a boat. That's lit. Can we ride in it? Oh, yes, we can. Left shift to dismount. Yes. Alright, we'll leave the boat there. That looks cute.
So apparently, it's the same article.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was saying, After COVID-19 made its way to Italy, decimating the country's significant elderly population, China told the world that it donated PPE to help Italy stop its spread. Reports later indicated that China had actually sold, not donated, the PPE to Italy. Yeah.
Wow.
So a senior Trump administration official tells the Spectator that it is much worse than that. China forced Italy to buy back the PPE supply that it gave to China during the initial coronavirus outbreak.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Let's try.
You know what? And I I know this is going to make me sound like an asshole, but good on Italy. That's what you get. That's what you get. You made a deal with the devil with the Chinese, the Silk Road, right?
Mm.
You made that Silk Road, and then it bit you in the ass. Like, no, you made this mess. You made this mess, Italy. Now you're gonna have to clean. This is what happens. Like, look, you got to like. This is what happens. You got to understand. When Italy made that deal with China, they made that Silk Road deal behind the US's back, behind the EU's back, and what did they think was going to happen? What the fuck did they think was going to happen? You made a deal with a dishonest country. What do you think was going to happen?
They thought it would just be rainbows and sunshine.
Yeah. Well, they thought they were like, oh, we're probably going to make a shitload thing, and then, I mean, when is outbreak ever going to happen? It's like, all right. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't want. But I mean, they didn't make it they didn't make the struggle very challenging now, did they? Like, yeah, they just didn't. When you make damn near every bad decision you can on the way out, it's like, damn. Like, no, I just I hope that things get. Oh, what about the did we talk about the ventilator situation in New York?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Do you know more about that than me? I don't know.
So apparently Andrew Cuomo was bitching about we don't have any ventilators, and they were gonna send us ventilators. We don't have it, and come to find out, they had a warehouse fucking full of them.
They did?
Like, yeah. Apparently so. Here, let me look this up. I want to make sure that I get it right. Let me look. New York ventilators warehouse. Oh, wow.
Spruce log, jungle log. Oh my god.
So apparently there's okay, so it was a false claim. Okay, never mind.
I was gonna say I didn't even hear about that one, but checked anyway.
Yeah, so there was I guess there was a picture or something like that we'll see. Because I guess there was a picture of a warehouse that had fucking ventilators, and yeah.
Can I just say I'm getting a bit annoyed at like the fawning over Cuomo by the left right now. They think he's like a god. And I mean, he's been doing a good job, but at the same time, some of the stuff he has been doing has been a bit annoying. So I don't know how genuine it is. Like with the shit, the ventilator. It's like, well, we need all these ventilators. And it's like, well, everybody else does, dude. Not the only one that needs fucking ventilators.
So yeah, okay. So it's like, okay. So the picture, there was a picture that was out that had a New York warehouse that was full of these ventilators. They were talking about that they didn't have, and so USA Today stated that it was partly false, whatever the fuck that means here. While it is true that New York maintains a stockpile of ventilators not in use, it is incorrect that these numbers are unneeded. Right? The current number of ventilators deployed in the state are enough to meet the increasing challenge of the COVID-19 poses to the healthcare system. That said, healthcare professionals fear that the increasing number of the cases will quickly overwhelm the system. Sounds like you should get those fucking ventilators out of that fucking warehouse, and you know, that's what it sounds like to me. But anyway, yeah, there's quite a bit of that. Like that reminds me of the it reminds me of the aid that Trump sent to Puerto Rico during all the fucking,
oh my god,
when they
yeah.
decimated, and they had a warehouse full of that shit.
That
Like,
fucking San Juan mayor was the biggest piece of annoying crap ever. Oh, Trump is so evil. People are dying because of Trump. He did so much shit for you people, and you're just being ungrateful as hell.
Yeah. No, you hit it. Like, you literally, you made the situation worse by hiding the help, right? By hiding the water, food, medical, first aid kits, whatever. Like, this is what you did. You hit it to create a political agenda, but you put lives in jeopardy. Like, what you suck as a mayor, right? You suck as a mayor, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, she was awful. So annoying.
Awful. Just awful. Like, I fucking politics, man. What the hell? We get so pissed off from we get pissed off from the local shit, you know, even our own school, you know?
I'm back. I had to go and take a call.
Yeah, business calls. Eh?
There you go.
Yeah, bunch of new stuff's going on, so I don't want to go over that here, but
confidential. Must be really important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we just been talking, and I'm probably actually gonna be heading out soon. But since you're back, we'll talk for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you guys?
Nothing really interesting.
Not
honestly.
a whole lot.
You guys been seeing those fucking like Zoom bomb things again?
No,
man, some of them are
but
really
the
fucking
feds
funny.
are cracking down on them, dude.
Yeah.
What are they doing now?
I don't know, but people are getting the feds called on them. I even suggested to Milo when I was in his chat, I was like, hey, this would be a funny thing for you to do. He's like, no, dude, the feds are getting called on people, so I'm not doing that. And I'm like, yeah, I feel you.
What can the feds really even do about that? Like, if you don't like post something like pornographic or, you know, like.
I'm not sure, honestly.
So I don't know if they're just calling them and they're like, hey, stop this shit, or if they're like raiding people's fucking houses.
I don't think they're raiding people's houses. We gotta practice social distancing, but you know.
But yeah, no, I don't know if they might. They deem this as a fucking vital business or whatever.
Stopping Zoom bombs.
Well, you know, fucking like Zoom's like a really terrible app. Like I put
It's
a video
awful.
in, I think the general chat. Like there's a lot of like, especially for Mac users, like a lot of really crazy shit they do with it.
I bet.
Like they have something on there that makes it look like your system's like asking you for credentials, but it's actually their servers.
What?
Yeah, there's like I posted a video about that somewhere.
Oh god.
Mm.
Yeah, they're doing some shady business.
Mm-hmm.
And then like they have these servers in where was it? Like China that
Yep,
this
yep.
gets like redirected through.
Dude, I was finding out shit about that too. I was gonna post something. You might have posted something too, but I forgot to. Zoom, because it's supposed to be encrypted, when you get the encryption key, it's from a server in China. I told you, man, like it's Chinese spyware shit.
Well, I mean, we're fucking lazy over here too. It's like these same people are like, "Hey, we should take a stance. We should take a stance on China and reevaluate our relationship with." Let me go talk on TikTok about it. Like, are you out of your fucking mind?
I hate
Well, here's
that.
the thing. It's a fucking like there's a difference between Zoom and TikTok.
I
Like
don't think
Zoom, like
so.
yes there is because you're not putting you shouldn't be putting confidential information in TikTok because that's meant to be shared. Same thing with Google.
Yeah, but people are
But
doing it anyway.
well, you shouldn't be doing like if you're doing that, then that's on you. You
Yeah.
know, you should know better than to go and put anything on a fucking social media website. But Zoom isn't social media. Like, and I'm more concerned with Zoom because you have professors hosting meetings on there,
Yeah.
and China's been known to steal IP.
Yeah.
So, you know, like versus TikTok, where, you know, you might post like a fucking stupid video, which is meant to be
It's
shared
not
with
yeah.
Zoom. You're
I
not
mean,
really.
you get these old ass people that really don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's like, oh, how do you work this thing? How do
Yeah,
you work
literally.
it? It's like, all right.
It's like my mom even, she repeated the shit the media was, and she's like, all these Zoom hackers. I'm like, Mom, you can't fucking hack Zoom. I mean, yes, you can, but that's not what these people are doing. They're not hacking Zoom. They're just
Yeah,
sharing the link.
yeah, they need, like, if anything, they should really probably be using, like, Skype, honestly.
Or Google Hangouts, honestly.
I think they have Microsoft Teams that'll do a similar function. Like, they have so many other, like Cisco WebEx, you can do, like, big fucking things like that. And they're a lot more secure with those ones. I don't know why everyone's just jumping on Zoom like that. Like especially since it's in China. Like at least fucking like Microsoft is a US based company.
Well, the big advantage Zoom has currently over the competition is that you can have a shit ton of people in your video call.
You can have a lot of people in Cisco WebEx. Or like WebEx, and I think Teams you can have a decent bit. I don't know how many, you know, is the amount that you can have, but I know you can have a lot of people in those. Because I mean, I've been on calls with like, you know, a lot of people in the between the two of those.
Well, even
But
Google Hangouts, the thing can do up to like 25 or something. I'm like, guys, use Hangouts, use Skype, don't use the Zoom shit.
well, yeah, and if you are gonna use Zoom for something, I'd go and make like in it like I'd only do it if there's, you know, more than anything else you have access to can hold. And then I would only use it for like I would make sure to go and mute everybody. I'd go and have them in a waiting room and then allow them in. Like there's basic common sense stuff that teachers just either don't know or don't care to know. Like they
Yeah.
don't do their fucking research, which is, you know, typical public schools.
I can tell you it's mostly they just don't they don't get it. They don't do it. Teachers are pretty fucking dumb. And they're teachers.
Oh yeah, like honestly, you know, we're gonna find out years later. Like from this, China is gonna be taking a whole lot of like they're gonna be looking at all of these fucking lessons,
I hope
and
so.
they're gonna just be marking those things down, and be like, "Yep, here's this IP being talked about." And it's just, you know, why? Like there's some out there that have like 6 people on it. Like, what's the fucking point? Why are you doing this on Zoom if you only have 6 people? Use fucking Skype.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems shady.
Yeah.
It just seems really shady that out of the blue, this company's just like, and they're considering it part of the fucking coronavirus prevention effort. but
I
it's
know,
really
right?
not. Yeah, one
That's
second.
why I'm suspicious of their intentions 100%. I don't think we should be using them at all. I'm a anti-zoomer.
Well, I mean, we're gonna use it tomorrow.
I am, unfortunately. But I have to. I don't have a choice.
Yeah. What can they stop me? Like, can they stop me?
Sorry about that. I'm gonna move the cat.
Meow.
Wanted to come in and play with me, but yeah, it just seems like they really didn't think this fucking thing through. And I'd be honestly interested to see what they charge some people with for this, because it's like, especially for these chats that are fucking public,
Mm-hmm.
or if people share the fucking password for you. You can't even really call it hacking if someone gives you the fucking keys.
And they keep saying they're uninvited. I'm like, well, yes and
Not really.
no. I mean, anybody
Not
can
invited
use
by
it.
you. Not
Yeah.
invited by you, but someone invited them. Get the people who are giving out the passwords.
And also, it's kind of like a link. I mean, if you post in, let's say, GroupMe, it goes out to everyone. How are you gonna really control who uses it and doesn't unless you have admin tools with permissions? How can you say like somebody didn't have permission to use something if it's a fucking link in like a giant GroupMe?
Yeah, it's like saying that you're going to a website, with just a random website is, fucking hacking. That's basically all it is. It's typing in a URL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like I'm interested in seeing like what actually people get charged with for that, because
Yeah, me
that
too.
seems like it could be a real fucking interesting case.
I don't think they're honestly gonna charge people. If anything, they would do a fucking, a fine at the most. But I don't even see that. I've heard that the people have been getting the feds called on them. I don't know what it's amounting to, but that's the word on the street.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. But any other like drama just going around?
Not entirely. I mean, we could talk off air a little bit. If there's any other updates, but there really hasn't been much yet.
Hmm. That's that's interesting. Whatever's going on with that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a typical day in quarantine life. Oh man, did you see they're gonna make another episode of that fucking oh my god, the cat thing, Tiger King?
Yeah, I saw that. Did you ever watch that one yet?
I might tomorrow night or the next night. I will probably get into it.
Jeez, man, it sounds like you've got a full fucking schedule.
I do.
Mm.
Shit's busy. Even though it's quarantine life, I still have quite a few things to do. Like, school is weirdly intrusive right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, how's it really being that intrusive though? Like, what's been going on with that? Just all that drama and stuff, or?
There's the drama. There's also I've like this startup thing. I finally came up with a logo for that for our buddy. I mean, I've had to do some work for that. I'm also gonna be designing some T-shirts for the Trump campaign here for people to wear around on campus. And I mean, this is a smaller thing, but even I just got it today, and I like helping people out, regardless. But one of the guys that's in our TPUSA chapter is asking for some help for his UPUA election. And
Good. You guys need to really work on that.
yeah, and
You want to get people in there.
I don't have to do a lot for it, but it's still something to do. And I'm like, yeah, I'll help him out. Like, he deserves it. And he hasn't he's done he's come to our meetings once. I'm like, yeah, I better support him. Gotta get more of our peeps in there.
Yeah, if you get anyone like moderately on like anywhere on the fucking right spectrum into UPUA, that's a win.
Mm-hmm. That's all I look at.
I don't even think the CRs have anyone right now. I could be wrong. I remember like when I was there, we had people. like maybe 2 or 3, maybe even, yeah, I think it was like 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
But we at least had some, and I don't think that's been carrying over too well.
I don't think so either. I don't think they don't have anyone. They're not gonna do shit.
Oh yeah, not that the EPA does anything on a given day anyways, but it's just, the thought that matters more than anything else.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, like, even if the current CRs had people in there, they wouldn't be doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. They're kind of useless. It's like herpes, it just sticks around and it's a pain in the ass.
Hear that, CRs? That's what you are. Herpes.
You're probably worse, honestly. I don't know what's worse than herpes.
At least there's a cure for herpes, I think.
No, there isn't a cure for herpes. It's probably more like the fucking syphilis. Because, if you catch it early enough, you can cure it. But, if you let it just sit there and rot, you're going to have to go to a fucking insane asylum. Like Al Capone.
Al Capone went to Alcatraz.
Well, yeah, but then he got out because he had advanced stage syphilis.
Oh shit, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was banging fucking prostitutes and shit.
Wow, what a Chad. Even in prison, he was a Chad.
I don't know what he was doing with that shit. Say that, throw into that fucking mafia family. So they forget about prostitution.
Well, I made some more of my home here in Minecraft. It's looking pretty sexy.
Sexy and no.
Oh yeah.
Blast from the past.
Blast from the past. Gas from the past. Blast from the past. Well, I should create a glass ceiling so I can smash it. Like Harry Clitson.
God.
I can be a progressive man. I should move my beds upstairs. Why are they down here? Move them up. Okay, put this bed up here. There we go. Now I can sleep better. Ah, that's nice. I actually really like how my house turned out.
You sure it's the same server that you're in that has the shit?
Oh, the Penn State one?
Yeah.
See, I actually looked into that a bit. It sounds like I need to change the port on, which I don't understand, to get into the creative mode for that server. But I was in survival mode, and I was following the coordinates because I figured out how to get a heads-up... Let me see if I can do that in this mode. A heads-up display of the coordinates. And... Oh yeah, I can do it in this mode too. Cool. And so I was walking in that direction. I just couldn't make it. I kept dying, so I gave up. But I might try again to find it. But it's out there a ways.
Yeah, well, there you go. Gotta find out that shit some.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I'm running out of steam. It's getting to 3 a.m. I gotta hit a class tomorrow too, so.
Oh, is it any of the fun classes?
It's, well, if you call it fun, I guess it's progressive. It's that IST class.
What time is that?
11:15 in the morning. And then we have CRs later in the day. Oh, fudge. I gotta mail my dues tomorrow. Gotta make sure I do that.
Yeah, you should have done that earlier, man. What's the holdup?
Well, I was just waiting to make sure everything was gonna happen. Like, I didn't even know our guy was running till a few days ago, but they said you have to mail it and you have to have it just postmarked by today, Monday.
Why are they having you fucking mail it? Like, that's retarded.
There's no other way to do it. That's the problem.
What do you mean there's no other way? They have fucking PayPal. They have...
It's ASA.
Oh, you have to mail it to ASA. You can't just mail it to them and have them mail it to ASA?
Would you do that?
Well, at least with like PayPal or Venmo, you have... Well, with them, you get like with PayPal or whatever, you have a receipt.
Yeah.
Which really begs the question why they didn't just use either PayPal or Venmo, because you can get fucking receipts for those.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Have we done that in the past? See, I don't know if you can do that for dues. I think for dues it has to be cash or check. I don't think there's any other way you can do it.
So like you'd think the ASA would figure so.
Yeah, they're very fussy. They're very, very fussy.
Well, you know, I'd take that over some of the other shit I've been seeing.
Yeah. Well, oh man, my head. Oh, full of yawns. So, thank you for everyone tuning into Real News Quarantine, another late night stream. But we covered a lot of ground. Discussed some interesting things. So, if you want more of that next time, please tune in tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a stream, or the next night. To be determined. But we'll be back. Keep your eyes on the channel. Hit subscribe for more great content. Check out our interviews. This has been Real News Quarantine, episode 12. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys later. Stay safe, practice good hygiene, and as always, wash your hands.